Two, one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Airing It Out podcast live. I am your host, Dustin Marion, my partner in crime, Hollow Clutch. Welcome back, Hollow. What is going on, bro?
I needed a very much needed vacation to reset, get mentally focused for I feel like it's gonna sound weird, a fast long year.
So did you meditate, levitate, hallucinate? Did you get all the tates in there, baby?
A little bit of everything. Almost lost my shit a few times because of the COVID stuff. But
Nice.
besides that, I had a good time with family.
Did you get smacked while you were there or what?
The last night I got a little saucy for the most part. The last night, every other night it was mostly seeing family, chilling, had a few beers, nothing crazy. But the last night, we got a hotel just for one night because our flight was supposed to be at 5 a.m. And for whatever reason, United dog shit. They changed our flight to 1 o'clock in the afternoon without saying a word. So then the car service we ordered to pick us up, and when we came back, the guy calls us and he's like, "Yo, that flight doesn't exist." And I'm like, "What you mean a flight doesn't exist?" And
I said we're staying in Puerto Rico now.
and then I'm over there and I'm calling freaking Expedia, United, and they all over the place. Yeah, we have a 1:15 flight. I'm like, so nobody was gonna tell me that you guys changed my flight? Like, oh well, we sent you a notification. I'm like, no, you did not. I was waiting. Nobody wants to wake up at 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning to catch a 5 o'clock flight. Like nobody in the world wants to do that. But I did that so we could be back early. My girl's birthday was yesterday, so I was trying to get everything situated. But overall, I had a good time. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, no, I really like Puerto Rico. I think it's always a great time. Tabby wants to go. I want to get out there, but it's so weird, man, having to travel like 5-6 hours in a plane. I'm like, Mexico is like an hour.
Word.
I didn't even want to.
Cheaper.
Yeah,
Probably
all
less
that
annoying.
Right, everything that you could think of. But the thing is, I don't really know what the international COVID protocols are in the sense of how many tests you have to come back negative. I'm sure you said you had to you just had to get tested. You didn't have to get vaccinated, right?
No, yeah, just have to get tested going, and it has to just be negative going.
Right. And so what did you do coming back? Did you have to like schedule it a day before?
You didn't have to get nothing coming back because it's not. Remember, Puerto Rico is not
Right. We're kind of like the stepsister that nobody likes.
It's not was out of the country flight.
Right.
It's still considered a domestic flight.
Yes, 100%.
So you didn't have to worry about doing that on the way back.
Yo, you know what I want to ask you? Because the last time they did me dirty, did they serve you fools anything besides water in that motherfucker? Or
they
didn't even serve
you water and like graham crackers.
Yo, that is the worst combination on the fucking planet. Listen, airlines people, do not give me like the most like worst thing to swallow with water. That's terrible. All right, I know you guys are struggling, but goddamn, charge me for a Coke. I'll pay for a Coke.
Bro,
right?
Here's worse than that. Here's the idiotic thing of the whole entire thing. So if you sit there, you have to wear a mask the whole time.
Correct.
But if you're eating something or drinking something, you can have the mask off.
Right.
Or you're eating or drinking something.
Correct.
So this is how I game the system. I got food from outside. I brought it from outside. So I got like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. I got whatever. So I left the sandwich half eaten in front of me, and I have my mask off the whole ride.
Nasty.
So anytime the stewardess walked by, the food was in front of me, and I had a drink in my hand. So technically, I'm eating.
Right.
So basically, the whole flight, I have my sandwich in front of me with a thing, and I have the mask down the whole entire time. So I just find it idiotic that if you're just sitting there, you have to have the mask on, but if you have food out, you can have it off, and then it's okay. Like it's all about optics, and it's fucking retarded.
100%. Did you see Ben Shapiro post that video about the family that got kicked off because like the 2-year-old didn't have a mask on?
Yeah, like what is wrong with people? The child who's the most safest out of everybody. The safest person on the flight, they worried about the most. It's crazy.
I just did a show. Shout out to Dr. Sheila Young, and Dr. Sheila Young had mentioned that they are the safest to not like get it, but they are the highest to pass it. So there might be some relevance there a little bit with having them masked up. Tabitha brought into perspective something is like, yo, how do you govern a 2-year-old, right? Like that's got to be hard on its own.
Exactly.
And it's for us, it's hard to breathe in that thing, bro. You know, and that's why I've been trying to double down and doing this stuff, because I don't know if I want to go back to work for the men and have to wear a mask. That thing, I mean, I feel like I'm getting strangled when I'm even shopping and doing all this other stuff. So that might be a little bit
before I get out the store, like walking towards the exit, I'm taking my shit off.
Me too.
And I don't put my shit on when I'm inside the door and I'm like about to step through an aisle. I put my mask on, like the latest, least possible, or the fastest. Like
we're about to get canceled.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You talked about a little bit. Did you get a chance to look at those numbers? Because Florida and Texas, they were one of the few states to drop the no mask mandate.
Right, so
since
March 2nd, which is when Texas lifted the mandate,
right?
COVID cases dropped 4,000 cases per day.
Wow.
Since they lifted the mandate, and 147 per day hospitalizations went down per day. So for the last 3 weeks.
Again, you know, this is such a complicated situation in the sense of like now there's new variants and new strands of it. I'm just saying.
But here's the issue that I've been screaming about this for 6 months. The science has been out for 6 months.
Right.
Like, there's no I'm not making this based on me how I'm feeling. It's not a feeling. It's based on science. Now, if you're saying something that's you can tell me that it's scientifically proven, I'm with you. You know, like.
Yeah.
It's reminding me of the 80s. How remember in the 80s, HIV was a big thing. And people thought if you just breathed on them, you was going to get HIV. And then obviously science came out, said it had to be, you know, blood to blood or saliva to saliva, open wound. Like you had to literally touch with blood or fucked in the ass or whatever to transmit the disease. But when it first came out, people did not know and people were freaking out, you know? And now the science is there. Just same thing when we have COVID.
It's funny that they didn't try to fucking lock down the country with fucking HIV and AIDS, but they locked us down here. So I got a prediction, and you know, shout out to Josh Booty because he's just gonna release this challenge app called Bula, and you and I were gonna get on it, drop some challenges to each other. But I'm telling you, we're gonna go into another lockdown.
You think so?
Oh yeah, the government is loving this thing. They're loving it, bro.
It's more the Democrats. The Democrats, for whatever reason,
lock it down.
They can't let it go. They cannot let it go for whatever reason. I almost lost my shit when they announced last week that they were going to making people get a passport.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
That's insane.
I mean, we talked about it a few shows back. The Miami Heat already, you know, doing sections. Where did I just? Oh, San Francisco baseball stadium. You cannot watch the baseball game unless you have a vaccine. So forget about sections, cousin. Now the whole entire facility is being governed like that. And so, like when you see something like a Miami, which is a red state, and then you see San Francisco as a city doing something that in the sense of a blue state thing. It seems like both sides of the aisle might be agreeing on this. Who knows? And then now with the traveling, you know, France is on lockdown right now. Germany's on lockdown right now. Poland's locked down. Italy's still on lockdown.
The UK just came out though last week and said they're going to start treating COVID like the flu.
Right.
Because of Texas and because of Florida, they're going to open everything up.
It kind of is that way. We haven't tried. I thought we were going to be handling this thing with herd immunity, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the issue is not so much whether it's harmful or not. The problem is that the medical infrastructure is just not prepared for massive people getting sick. It broke the levee, and they're not doing jack shit to fix that, right? That when we think about it, you know, our population is so huge. The fact that there's not enough beds for all of us is insane. So like maybe we got lucky with COVID. Who knows? And this is again conspiracy theory, but who knows if some, you know, terrorism group decides to drop some bioweapon and then we're fucked, not because we get sick, but because we can't save lives fast enough. And I think that was the underlying story with COVID, was that we weren't able to save lives. And the lives that we were saving, people were working like goddamn firemen with 72-hour shifts. Right. And they were overworked and, you know, probably sticking people with the wrong stuff, putting them on the wrong stuff, recommending the wrong things.
Which is going to happen in the beginning of any pandemic because you don't know what it is.
Right.
So
right.
The only reason like people, I know it was a long time ago, but I still reference to this point. The Spanish flu killed 50 million people worldwide. 50 million. And they didn't require mandates. They didn't require quarantines. They didn't require any of these things. The government didn't shut down. If you were the individual were kind of in charge of your own health, if you felt comfortable to wear a mask, it was fine. You can go wear a mask. But there was no companies forcing you. The government wasn't forcing you. There were none of these stupid ass mandates. And those people survived. You know, and it was less people with less technology, with less medicine, and they didn't panic as much as we did with this, with how much medicine we have, how much technology we have, how fast all the countries kind of came together and pumped out solutions and pumped out certain things. Like hydroxychloroquine was one of the first things that they were saying, the drug for malaria. Like that was showing significant signs for COVID, but since Donald Trump said it, it was an issue not to take it.
Right,
it was all political games of who's saying what. And
right.
like if COVID didn't hit, Trump is still president. 1,000%.
I'm not saying that argument doesn't carry water. I think one of the things that was a slippery slope for Trump was him not letting people send in ballots, because making people.
But what I'm saying, if there was no COVID, if there's no COVID, the economy doesn't tank.
Right. Yeah. Oh, well,
so he wins. So he wins 100%. He wins again.
Yeah.
The only people, because people are blaming him. Any president who sat in that chair when COVID hit would have had the same problems. Any one of them. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of people are arguing right now that Uncle Joey's not doing too great of a job. And I mean, dare I say, bring back Trump? I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, from where I was standing, neither one of those people are really affecting my lives. I'm not a millionaire, so I don't get tax breaks, and I'm poor, so I don't know if the Republicans even care. I kind of stay out of the limelight and on the sidelines. I'm already a homebody, and I try to stay out of trouble.
This is how much of a homebody I am. Last week they just said they were going to lift an 11 p.m. curfew in New York. I didn't even know there was an 11 p.m. curfew in New York. I had zero. So I was like, okay.
I bet anybody who plays fucking call at a rate that you do, motherfuckers don't know jack.
I'm so busy, I'm always home doing something, trying to build something. I'm home by 7-8 o'clock already. Like I was never even out at that time.
I don't mean either. It didn't really affect me. I mean, I wasn't going to the club like that. I mean, I don't even know if I shared it with you, but I forget what's today. Today's the 8th. Mm-hmm. So I'm about 6 weeks sober from pot and alcohol. But I wasn't even going out when I was drinking. I stayed home, right? Because I'm not gonna pay $6 for a beer that I could pay $2 more. I get the whole 6-pack, right? Exactly. I'm not even doing that. And out here, there was crazy, bro, because a lot of bars were like, screw you, and they just stood open. And it was weird because it was very. Hold on. Who's that? That's interesting. Well, I'm beeping in the background. I don't even know what. Oh, I know what that sound is. I got I got all beeping sounds coming. But yeah, no, I didn't even go out, and a lot of places became speakeasies, and I wanted to go. I thought it would have been cool just to sit in the background and stuff, but I never really even went. So not really a big deal.